Alright, I'm working on the 52 Eureka today. The engine bay is almost done. I still have to take off the lower suspension control arms and the drums and wheel hubs, clean those up. But I did some modification. I cut off the chassis where the brake master cylinder mounts, because I wanted to add a dual, like a tandem master cylinder, so I can do front and rear brakes. So I cut the chassis off because you see how this is like bulged out. I needed to get the master cylinder as close to that chassis as I could, so that this hole lines up with this piece here where the plunger is going to mount. So I can't really show you because the power steering gearbox is in the way, but this is all done. I just cleaned it up. I'm going to throw some paint on it real quick, and I've got all the nuts and bolts there. And this is the tandem master cylinder. It's going to have a remote reservoir that's going to sit, I think, behind the wheel well over here. This is a great little piece from ABS Brakes. Nice and compact. These little heads swivel so you can send them either which way you want. And then it has ports on each side, so you can plug one side, do whatever. Have one side open, one side plugged, depending on what space you have or do not have. So I can throw some paint on that now. This is the other upgrade I did, was a 1953 power steering gearbox. They didn't have it in 52, but in 53 they came out with it, and it bolts right up. So I rebuilt that, installed that, and that's coming along nicely. Alright, I just finished installing the tandem master cylinder. There it is in all its glory. Modified the plunger a little bit. I gotta tighten that. But all this is mounted. It's got a little boot. The spring's up. The bumper on the inside is up. I have to remount the brake cable. But other than that, that's set. Now I can start running brake lines to the remote booster. That'll probably be back there or up here. I gotta put the front clip on and find out where the best spot is. But that is done, thank God. So I just put the front clip back on the 52 to see how much space we have, because I was gonna mount the booster up there, but if I can tuck it away in here, that'd be even better. So once the fender is on, the wheel cover comes down, the hood spring comes down here, we've got this in the way, and then we've got about 16, 17 inches of nothing but room. So I rigged up a bracket for the new dual booster. Here it is. This is from carbuilder.com, or yeah, carbuilder.com. Really nice piece, very well built. The only problem was these threads are not what I had, so I had to go buy extra. Not a big deal, but it's going to mount right up in here. Here's the bracket we welded up. I still have to put a little weld right here, and then some support here. Cut that line, drill 3 holes so that I can mount it. Didn't come out too bad. Oh, and then I'm going to paint it as well. So I put the ends on, the outlets. And that is going to mount. That lines up there. It's going to mount right there. Plenty of room on this side. Plenty of room on that side. I put 90-degree brackets on it. I have one more to put on there. Tight squeeze, but still roomy. So that's going to be that. Very excited about this. This is coming out very nice. And again, this is like the only modification, the only upgrade that's modern that I want to do. It's just the brakes. The engine's going to be all original. Here it is. I'm waiting on the heads. They should be done by the end of this week, hopefully by Friday. There's the spare engine. There's all the parts waiting to get painted. Oh, they're full of crap now, but everything is ready to go. I just finished mounting the booster. There it is, tucked away. Can't even see it from the top, on the driver's side inner front fender. So here's the bracket. It kind of grabs it from behind like a catcher's mitt. And it was still a little loose when I first mounted it, so I did a little dog leg down here. Nice and sturdy. Still plenty of room here. Plenty of room back here. Plenty of room for these two. Plenty of room for the vacuum tube. So next I'm going to remount this whole front clip onto the front of the car. And then I can start making some of the brake lines that are going to come down here, kind of like spark plug wires, down to the junction box and the master cylinder, and then one will just come straight back to the rear brakes. So let's get this guy put on it and we'll run some lines. Good morning. So last night I spent a couple hours rigging up the brake lines to go from the master cylinder down in here underneath the e-brake cable up the back of the front fender into the dual booster that's tucked in nicely right there. Look at that, you can't even see it. So that fit pretty nice. I'm gonna get some of those rubber spark plug wire separators, the organizer pieces, and straighten these out a little bit. But that's all plumbed all the way back to the rear. Kind of see that guy. So now those are all mocked up, and I can take the front clip off again to install the engine.